Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good.
Hey,
I like that.
it's Spirit Sessions of You, the Light, and we're here with our guest hosts of Brittany Floyd, Teresa, Nancy Louise, and our special guest host, very special. Well, she's not a guest host. Our special host and special guest today is
Yes.
Teresa Warren. And Teresa was the creator of Spirit Sessions, and we're so thankful she was. And Teresa and I were we don't get a paycheck from Spirit Sessions. It's a passion project for both of us and for most of us here. We just like the learning curve that we get to go through every time we have guests on. And it's been a journey for us and a big personal journey for you, Teresa. You came, you came across the United States from California to Tennessee and all the changes and differences. And now you've kind of come back. You've always been super artistic. And you've always been working that as part of your mental health therapy. Is the art for many people is part of their life, part of their therapy, part of their soul. And I think that could go without saying for you. But you've actually made it into almost a healing modality now, and you're going to have your first class. And what I'd like you to do is sort of talk about how art has shaped you and how you got into this new modality, and tell us a little bit about neurographic art, because I love it. I love it. And give us a show again of the Spirit Session sign.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's great.
And
I just want to.
This one's going to
so
show
pretty.
you that, hey, I may be good at drawing little bubbles and stuff, but I need to work on lettering.
Did you do that by hand? Oh, well, that's pretty awesome by hand.
This is all by hand. Yeah, it's too much
Way
fun.
to go. Yeah, gotta love
It's
that.
perfect.
Yeah.
So how I got into this was the funniest thing was my granddaughter comes home because I used to babysit her back when she was younger. And she came over, oh, yeah, well, they were teaching us this new kind of art. And she was trying to draw it on a paper. And it's like, oh, I don't remember how it goes. And, and so we kind of left it at that. And then it popped up again on my feed one day. And then it's like, oh, this is it. The other times I've seen it in color books and things, but I didn't understand it. It's like, how am I supposed to know how to color that? It's too confusing. But once it popped up on my feed and it's like, oh, that's the one my granddaughter was showing me, I started learning it. It was right after I had been activated for light language. And I really think that this came through. Instead, I could do the light language a little, but the art was like, ooh, and I think that's why it showed up in my feed, and I'm checking it out. And man, it was a year ago, and I started practicing it hardcore every day because, like, if you want to shift the timeline, I wanted a timeline where I could be a decent artist. So what do? You got to put that in the forefront, right? When you want to do this. So I got a folder like this thick of so many that I've done. And then it's like, oh, I can do readings with this. And so I taught myself how to do readings by like taking the cards. I pull 4 cards from 4 different decks, and then I could take a picture from each one and draw it a little bit, and then do the neurographics over it, and then bring it out with the color. And it's like so magical. And I do anyway, I go through all the stages. First, you're excited. Ooh, I want to try this. And then you're like, oh my God, I don't even know if I can get through this. This is terrible. And then you're like, oh, I'm the worst. And then the next one is, aha, that's it right there. Wah! And then you're all excited about it. So that's what it's like. I went through all those stages. And every time I do one, I do too. So that was kind of fun.
So I know you're very clairvoyant. Like, you see things, right? You see visions.
That's my third way. I'm cognizant, and then the feeling, when the sentient, and when those two come in nice and strong, I could see things, but I also hear, smell, and taste.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you find, like, with neurographics, it kind of just opens up a new frequency for you and you can pull all those things in easier?
does it help with, it really helps with everything. And I'll tell you guys all the things in a minute, but I have sat there and Kim, when Kim Van de Sande channels light language, she sings it. And that always takes me somewhere, like back when we're herding sheep and somebody's singing to entertain us, and keep the day going. And so I one of the times I sat there and I did all these neurographic lines, and it came out with a pretty good picture. I don't know if I brought it with me, but I never colored it yet. But yeah, it's way cool. Who this guy invented it? Let me tell you his name. He's from Russia. Pavel Piskarev. Okay, now this dude is kind of amazing because he's an architect, an artist, and a psychologist.
Oh, cool.
And he was looking for ways to get deeper and to help people in himself. So this whole thing was conceived to help with stress and anxiety and fears. And I've used it for each of those myself, and it does help. It helps with depression. It helps chronic pain, brings us back to inner peace and calming the mind, because it takes you to mindfulness. It brings you back to the moment where you're living in the moment. And that really helps. It brings clarity. It brings new perspectives. It helps to solve all kinds of problems, ongoing problems, challenges, and all kinds of stuff like that. And if you put your intention in it, it helps you to bring your intention in. So it's for manifesting as well.
Briefly, for Art for Dummies, can you briefly explain what neurographic art is and how does it differ from other forms of art?
Neurographic art has to do with the neurons in the brain and what they look like. And if you remember what they look like, and then the neurons have these neurotransmitters that are the communication between the neurons. Everything we do, every thought, even our heart beating and our breath, moving my hands like this, that's all going through the neurons in my mind. It's all sending out these neurotransmitter signals. And that's how the communication is going, if I'm lucky, if it's all working.
Can you show us your art again? Just kind of show us a piece that looks like neurons to us. I know you have a piece right there. I know I put some in the trailer, so. Okay, yeah.
That's so cool.
And so all of these are neurons, and these are the parts where the synapses come together. Now, the thing is, when you draw it, the lines are straight, and so you got to fill in the bubbles. And that's what I'm going to be showing how to do in my class, how to fill in and make it round like this. But this is basically a messy brain. Now, the fact, you all know already what we put our focus and intention on, that's what brings in the manifestation of whatever we want. The whole time you're sitting there doing your art, you're thinking about what you want to manifest. So that's like some quality time going into that, and it's going to bring it in. But it's also sending a message to your brain and these very neurons and synapses and the whole system that this is what you want. So you're building new neurons. And I had a quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza: conscious thoughts repeated often enough become unconscious thinking. Now that could work for us or it could work against us. Right. But when you're doing this artwork, you're putting in the positive reinforcement or the positive things that you want to bring into your life. You can also use it to get rid of things. Like, I want to show you the one there's two of them here that I have done. I was very nervous about driving to Nashville with my car because I had a bald tire. It was during rainy season and a lot of rain going on. And they drive like 70 to 90 miles an hour out there. Legally, it's 70. Other places, they have the speed limit marked off. So I guess you can do anything. I don't know. But it's like, oh my God, I'm just a little girl from California driving in Nashville. And I had some anxiety about that. And so I did two artworks about it. One, well, I'll explain in the class how I did it. But this was one of them.
You'll have to describe it for our podcast listeners.
Okay, so what this one, all I did was all the neurographic lines while I was thinking about what fears I was having and things I was having. And I was getting that out of my system, kind of like when you're doing the EFT tapping. And so you're getting rid of it. And then the next thing, you bring in what you do want. And so I did all that. So there's just lines all over this one. But when you look at it, it kind of come out looking like
I see a being.
no man with hair. No.
Yeah.
I see a woman. Yeah, I was going to
you're
say,
right.
I see a woman with long, beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so do I.
I'm going to cover this one day. But the next one I did. So that one I did, I go, wow, I really feel better. I went and I was not worrying about that drive no more. I didn't have that knot in my stomach. I still wasn't looking forward to it. But it's like, wow, all that impact that I was having and that crushing anxiety, no, it went away. And so then I drew another one. It's like, wow, this is working. And I went for it. And this one I colored because I really wanted to make it valid. And doesn't it look like where is it? This little guy, doesn't he look like he's got an eye there?
Yeah.
It looks like a frog. It's just what I see as a frog.
And it feels like a highway with bridges.
Yeah. Or train tracks.
What I
Yeah.
was doing, I kind of drew a simulation of what I wanted. This is a thing even shamans do. If shamans would see like, oh, there's going to be a disaster, they would build a little mock-up of the village and have that disaster happen in a small way and then clear it out so that the big fulfillment didn't have to happen. So I drew the roads here and I drew them smooth. I drew alternatives that were smooth, in my mind. And all that while I'm focusing on what I want to manifest. And then
you're in a positive mood when you're doing this, right? Because you enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
So, like, sad thoughts and good thoughts can't coexist. The vibe of the light will always crush out the dark and negative, right? It'll always like dissolve it, right?
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. And then when it comes to the colors, and we all know colors have special vibration because we took Brittany Floyd's class.
Yes.
I think that class, I know that Brittany's class is perfect for everybody that's going to take my class too. So that you know the colors, because this is what we get to do. When we make our altars, we put things on the altars to represent things. This candle represents fire. It's a green candle to represent money, or it's a yellow, or you know what I mean? We are all about doing representative things. And this is kind of what it is, but it's directly working with the neurons. Isn't that way cool?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a question because since I'm an artist too, and I always love to see other artists' perspectives. Do you often find yourself getting frustrated? And if you do, what do you do in those moments of frustration?
Okay, this is going to be interesting. Yes, I do get frustration. The truth is, the only part of this artwork that I actually love and feel relaxed in is rounding out the corners. It's like, if that's all I could do all day, I'd be so happy. Just let me feel. And I'm finding such joy. I'm finding such bliss when I'm doing all that. But all the rest of it is a little bit more of a thinking. And then when I got into drawing, I'm not such a great artist, but my drive was so hard. I've got to get this image on the paper for what I want. And so I've had to force myself, but I also bought stencils. So I can do some stenciling to get it out. And then I had to modify them to look like what I wanted. So there is a lot of frustration with that. And, I did not bring it. I'm going to bring it to my class. I have pages, and you know this, how it goes, where you're auditioning colors to see either how they go together or if this is the right one you want. Like, if I want olive green, I don't want to accidentally grab the spring green, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I do that, and I could spend all day or a whole Pomodoro session, for instance, trying to pick which colors feel good. And you know that it comes in when it's good. So yeah, there is frustration, and how I get through it is just remembering the part that I really love. And then if I'm doing it for someone else,
Right.
there's your giveaway. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's for them and stuff.
And you
But also
focus
you
on
put
that
yourself on
energy.
deadlines. You put yourself on deadlines because you were making them as gifts. So that kind of increased the pressure
Yeah.
that normally wouldn't be if it was just for you or something you were intentionally, creating. You put more pressure on yourself.
I sure did.
You did.
I drew first I drew one for Nancy and one for Kim because I was practicing. It was still on the printer paper. Okay, I started on printer paper and with art supplies that I let my grandchildren play with, and markers I got from Dollar General. And so I've come a long way, but I made it for Rhonda and Kim first. And I thought, you know what? I got to get good at this. Okay. I got to get good. And so I thought, well, it's the new year, because by then it was getting to be the new year. I'm going to make one for all my family for their birthday. And I got better paper that was multimedia, and I started doing it, and it was like, wow. And so I did have pressure. Oh, back then, man, I was using pencils only because I'm more comfortable. My normal medium, if I woke up, my normal medium is using colored pencils. That's my favorite. That's where I just love life, and I love the colors that come out. And but boy, they could take me like 3 months to get one picture done, and these birthdays are coming up and coming up. And so in the end, I started using marker. I've seen people with neurographics use watercolor, but I'm not a watercolor.
I'm a watercolor person. Yeah, I love watercolors.
And there's watercolor pencils, which are fun too.
They're more like pencil pens.
My thing was pencils until the day came. It's like, dude, I cannot spend 3 months. I have 10 days to get this done. Boom. I started using the markers. Now that put me through a whole lot of lessons with markers. Some markers are wonderful. Some of them still tear up the page. Some of them bleed more than others do. And so that put me through. So I'm glad I did it. It's silly to think putting pressure on yourself is a bad thing, because sometimes doesn't it take pressure to make a diamond? It's like,
absolutely. I was just thinking the same thing. Oh, I just wanted to give a shout out to Kira. He's joining us from Africa today. Hey, Kira, I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, loved you.
Hey, Kira.
Kira and Tarot by Gemini, and who else is here?
That's Mandy.
Yes.
And Joy is here today too. So she says, I have learned arts help a lot with anxiety and depression and people dealing with mental health. Yeah, put on your. It's all in tiny writing. Sorry, Teresa. Yeah. So, the comments are on the side. But
Joy, it really does. In general, just sitting there drawing. But what I like about the neurographics is, one, because you don't have to be an artist to do it, and it's like it's almost like doodling. That's Brittany's next venture, but the whole thing, when you set your intention, when you draw, it happens because you're spending that whole time and you're generating all of that energy toward whatever you are. So that's why it would be a wonderful thing. So
do you feel like neurographic arts how could be used for a tool for like problem solving or like gaining clarity on a personal challenge within
yourself? Yes,
it
definitely does all this. In fact, there are certified people to teach it that do it from the psychology view, like maybe Joy would know more about. And that's for specific, like for high trauma and all of that stuff. But it's also for mindfulness. So that's why I use it. But okay, your question, can you just repeat part of it again? Because I had
do you feel like it could be used as a tool for problem solving or gaining clarity on a challenge, personal challenge?
The courses for this have been taught in 38 countries around the world and in 5 different languages. So yes, it definitely helps with all that. It's spreading all around. And the next thing that I want to tell you that's so funny about it is that when you go online or YouTube to watch the different videos to learn how to do it, everyone's saying, this is the only right way to do it. Those people are doing it wrong. You can't do, and I'm sitting there, oh my God, I just want to learn. What is it? Well, I took into my intuition. So I was able to solve that problem and to move past the challenge by what works for me when I do it.
Is there any wrong way to do art?
I
Yeah,
don't think so.
any wrong way to do art? That's the real question.
When it's coming from you, like from your heart.
You want to call it neurographics. There are certain rules, but in the ways that I've seen it, every single one of those rules I've seen broken, and it still looks like neurographic art. Like, for one thing, it's supposed to be wavy lines. Now think about, I didn't bring the paper that shows it, but I'll bring it to class. You know how our gamma rays, our mind when we're on gamma looks, and when it's in delta or theta, or all of those are different wavelengths and stuff. And I forgot what I was going to tell you guys about that. I got too excited.
Straight lines versus wavy lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So straight lines versus wavy lines. So in general, one of the number one rules is that we use the wavy lines. And in fact, after studying those wavelengths like that, mine are, I could see what I do is from the theta, which is where your creative mind, your meditation mind, your manifesting mind is bringing it all in. And but one of our friends from when we learned the Akashic Records, you know, one of them is an artist, and I saw hers, and she goes, "Oh, look at my neurographic art," and it was the most beautiful picture. I loved it, but all the lines were straight. There were sharp angles. As far as I know, this art, you're not supposed to have straight lines, and you round out the energy of all the corners or anything that's pointed that you have. Like these, on this one, I'm showing a picture, and I have points here. Whoa, it's hard to do this backwards.
Yeah.
Nope.
We should have mirrored your screen for you. Yeah.
Well, it's Anthony's phone. I don't know.
Yeah, it's harder to do that on the phone.
So all of those, they have to be dealt with. This one, I haven't rounded out nothing on it. So this is raw, just raw lines all over. Nothing's rounded out. So that's kind of how they begin. Oh, here I did some rounding over here on this side.
And the next thing you need to do with that, once you're pleased with this, is to start rounding the corners, right?
Yeah.
Rounding where the corners where the lines meet and intersect. And
that's very much feng shui too. That's feng shui balance. Yeah. It flows.
There's all kinds of rules about that too. And I'm going to be sharing all of those, but I swear every single rule that's a rule about this to be broken. So it's not like I could draw a normal one and say, oh, this is neurographics. There are certain rules so that you know that it's neurographics. And one of the main ones is, I think, would be, it still has to look like the neurons at some point. Right. Oh, did I show you guys this one yet?
No.
This one I didn't get to finish. I was
describe it
from Venus, and what it is there's the lines all over. It's an unfinished piece of work because I was still learning, but I drew one heart on here. Here, let's do it this way. I drew one heart. This is the heart I drew because I was talking to Venus, and then I drew a star up here to represent Venus. And I was wanting a closer relationship, communication with Venus. And then I sat there and drew all this, but then this heart showed up. I didn't draw this heart. This heart showed up based on the way all the lines went. And then if you look up close to where I drew the star, there's another little heart around it. So I drew one heart, two round hearts came on their own in the picture. And I always felt, oh, that's from Venus herself.
I see a spider and a jellyfish too.
Oh, well, yeah. Isn't that neat? And I actually, the friend who activated me to do light language, when I show her the picture, she automatically starts channeling the information that she's getting from it and stuff. And it's like, oh, wow, I got to learn how to do that too. It's going to be fun.
So I'm going to give a quick advertisement for people that are wondering where you can learn how to do this. Now, Teresa, I'm just going to say this so people can check it out later on. But the links to the course, which is only $33 US for how many? This is for the uncertified course. So if you just wanted to take the course, it's $33 US for how many? 4 classes?
There's 5 classes. 3 classes are actual learning, and 2 of the classes are where we have time to catch up on the assignments, ask questions, and work through things that we need to
And they're
work.
about an hour a piece, each of these classes.
There might be an hour, 90 minutes.
Okay, and the links are in the description for the video and for the podcast. So if you want to go, it's over on the Breakthrough Network World. So you go into the classroom, and so it's better than a Zoom meeting. You're in a classroom. Teresa's there showing, and she'll have it all going on. And just
And
so
it starts Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
Tuesday, the first class, this Tuesday.
I don't know where you can get for $33. Usually it would be at least $33 a class. This is for 5 classes.
Oh yeah.
And also,
Yeah,
I sound like a Sham commercial right now. But so there's the other part for certification.
You get you not only that, but like let's say you can't join the class on time or live. Well, you still get the class, the recording of it. And so it doesn't matter if you could make it at the right time, although it'll be fun.
Yeah.
You want to see all the other pictures?
Yes, we want to see the picture.
Yeah.
And talk about the certification while you're showing for the team.
Oh, well, for the certification, there's going to be a little quiz at the end, and I want a one-on-one meeting, and I want to talk. I want to feel, what's neurographics to you? What has this last 5 weeks done for you, and where do you feel it pulling you? I want to have a discussion like that, and then I'll give that out.
That's awesome. Okay, so show us your class and talk about your pictures that you have and how people can do that. Yeah. Oh, I love this one.
Yeah, I do
It's just like chakra energy to me.
This is
with the tree right up the middle. Sorry.
Into a tree, and so we're going to do one like this in the course too. We're going to make a chakra tree. This one was when I was channeling cosmic love from Kim's light language, and this is what came through. Now, really, for those listening, only during that I drew the lines, and it was afterwards while I was still feeling the activation did I go through and color it with the pencils. And see, at this stage my colors are light. I'm not using dark ones. Now watch how I advance. There's a whole lot you guys are missing, but in the end I started jumping up to this one. See how dark we are now and rich. This was one of mine, and I have like 5 different goals.
Is that a different paper or still on your computer paper?
I still
see. You can do it with anything. This is a great class. Bring your kids.
Yeah.
And then
honestly,
this one is Rhonda.
Oh, that reminds me of like a rose. That's what it looks like.
My name's Rhonda Rose.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Kim's came out like
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like
the moon reflection, the 2 moons reflecting.
The moon reflecting. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and the picture of the road.
Nice.
So look at how I can make the water. This is water down here. Look at, I can make it with dark colors, light colors, all different shades.
Just like water looks like. It has a lot of movement, this picture. And there's a lot of movement in the reflection and in the water. For those people that are, if you're listening to the podcast, go and make sure you go to the class, but also go to our YouTube, subscribe and like it. Go to the Breakthrough Network Show Network YouTube. Look at that. You can find these all, and please just subscribe to our YouTubes, both the Breakthrough Show Network and ours. It really helps us grow our show and our base, and people start taking it seriously. We've been doing this work for 7 years, and it's just a little click for you guys, and it really makes us feel much better, and it just really helps us put a little spark in our jumpy jump. Anyways.
So this is the last one that I used pencil on.
That's beautiful.
For my ex-daughter-in-law. And it's got the 4 cards that I pulled for her all represented on here.
So you have a unicorn, a dragon,
2 unicorns
Oh, 2 unicorns.
with
Okay.
the rose, and then that's my first hand-drawn dragon, you guys.
That's
It's
awesome.
so cute. Yeah, it's so
Good.
cute.
Yeah.
These unicorns are the stencil because I wasn't really brave yet, and so are the stars and the moon and stuff. And these are angel wings. I still haven't found bravery to draw. I'm going to do this though, you guys. I'm not going to stop. And then here's the latest one I did for my son's birthday. It was September 18th, and I still have it. But look at this. This is all markers now.
Oh,
I
wow.
had to do this
Wow.
one in 10 days.
It's very
and I didn't.
vibrant.
I wasn't able to. Something came up. And so that's why I got the extra time. But this is the night sky. Look at how those markers do.
Yeah.
That's cool. And
really
then
rich.
this is a cliff. And I don't like the way it turned out, but you can still see the grass on top. Here's a waterfall. And over here, there's another little waterfall. And then unicorn. Look, check out my dolphins.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
a dolphin here. A dolphin
Dolphins swimming in, is that the ocean then?
Yeah,
And the
this is
waterfall?
a river going into the ocean, and it's about flow, about being in the flow. So the dolphins are like leading this unicorn into the flow. And then over here's my other dragon who's on top of a lotus. You see,
Yeah,
it's
that's so beautiful.
Quantum's dragon.
A heart
And then
dragon?
here, I also use one of Kim's cards. And this is like the light language on Kim's card that I have coming down from here, the love, the Archangel Shamuel love, bringing it on down and mixing it in with the water. So that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
pretty.
They are so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
So-
it's cool. Every time I learn a lot, though. The unicorn there I drew myself. Most of the time I can't draw unicorns. I really can't. But look at that. The butt
You
didn't
drew
come-
that one? That's
really
awesome.
good.
that one because I couldn't get what I wanted. So it's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
But, I mean, the more you do, the more confident you become, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that like the mother of invention?
Yeah.
You know,
Necessity.
They look
Yeah.
good.
and
That's
then
going to be so much fun.
there's these. These are going to have my notes on the back, and I'm going to have words on the front. This is my welcome one. So
Okay.
I could fix that lettering.
So pretty.
I
And then
can't show everything.
for
Well, she
more-
can show it. She's going to show it because she's going to teach them how to do it, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This is just a
one of my
teaser. This is a
favorites.
teaser.
Yeah,
because-
isn't this gorgeous?
Yeah.
I love
You know
it.
that keeps feeling like the circle in the middle keeps feeling like a selenite disc.
It's going to have words.
Okay.
It's going to have words.
You
Yeah.
can make your own greeting cards into Neurographics.
Yeah,
I can
I
think
did.
of all
You
great
can make
sorts
your
of things.
own cards for holidays.
Oh, I like that a lot.
That's so
That's
cute.
why I'm doing it at
Yeah.
this time, because now usually all the crafting people who start making crafts, depending on what you're making, you can start in August to have it done by
Christmas?
and stuff
Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Here.
quick so that we can have have things done in time for Thanksgiving or
Oh,
things
yeah.
done in time for
Unless you're in Canada.
and the thing is
Yeah. Unless you're in Canada, then I'm going to say happy Canadian Thanksgiving
That's
to all
right.
my Canadian friends and whoever
Yeah.
celebrates Canada around
Yeah.
the world at this time.
Thank
Celebrates Thanksgiving at this time around the world, all the expats and everybody else. So.
I have one more
It's gonna be
question.
so much
You said, I know Rhonda mentioned the more that you do it, that you feel confident about doing your artwork, but do you feel like the confidence ripples into other personal aspects of your life?
I think so, because it means so much to me that I can do anything at all and have it come out. And then I myself fall in love with the beauty. Like I said, these colors I thought were way cool. And I fall in love with the colors and stuff. And then, I can be a part of things. I really can do stuff. So that's kind of what it does. And then it flows in.
And teaching it, do you find
Beautiful.
teaching something like that really anchors it into your soul when you teach it
Well,
to others?
There's the different learning styles that people have. Some need to see, some need to hear it again and again or whatever. My learning language has to do with teaching others. So when I'm learning something, I'm running it in my mind like I'm teaching. Like whenever I do cross stitch sewing, It's with this hand because I'm left-handed. When I do cross stitch, I'm sitting here thinking, how would I explain this to people? Oh yeah, this is a good way to do, right? So the same thing, whenever I'm doing this artwork, I'm always thinking of teaching people. That's how I learn. Isn't that weird?
No, I think it's a
No,
good
it's
way.
not weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to understand and break it apart into little pieces so you understand it even more and you go forward better, I think. So, yeah, it's not wanting to sound like an infomercial again. Just want to make sure you guys sign up because you have a limited amount of seats in the
I think
class.
there's 20 seats in there.
Okay, 20 seats in there, and for the certified or the audit, well, or just the class. I call it auditing, but it's just the class.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad because I can't watch it during the time because I'm working at the time, but I can go back. I'll be able to see the link later on in the day and watch it at my own speed and go back and forth. That's the good thing. You can take the live class and then you can go back and rewatch it and work along. So what do people need to bring to your class? I know you have a list when they sign up, but tell them it's not expensive. So let's go over the list of things.
There's the things, okay, like I said, I started out with just printer paper and markers that I got from Dollar General, and then the colored pencils that I had bought for my grandchildren when they were here. You use whatever you have around you, right? And so that's all I did. So you need some kind of paper. And in the class, I've specified different sizes. I said a bigger one, like my pictures, for when somebody has something they want to do something big on. But to get through the class, the little half-sized ones, oh, there it is. Like these half-sized ones. That way you don't have to spend the whole class doing the lines. It's like, oh man, the class has already moved on and I'm still drawing lines. This is how I am in class. I'm always the one a little bit behind, so that I'm designing it for people like me. And then that way, the smaller paper you can catch up on. And then I found that you could tear it in half again and make rinky-dink ones.
Oh, let's see that big one. That one's gorgeous. The one you just did. No, the Spirit Sessions ones. I like that.
And it's printer paper. It's from the printer. Your what's it called? The printer, right? Yeah.
And I've split it all in half. Like these ones, I take it and fold it and lick it, and then you pull it apart.
Okay.
And then so I got that. I messed up the lettering on this, and so I had to blacken it and try again.
Oh, that's great. I think that looks great.
In some ways, there's no way to mess up this neurographics art unless you're doing lettering like I did. And I was supposed to write Spirit Sessions, a view of the light, and it came out TEE light.
So like, what's the guy's name who did the PS, the art show on public television?
Bob.
Oh, Ross.
Curly hair.
Yeah, Bob Ross.
Yeah,
Bob Ross.
Yeah,
they just made birds out of that.
So, with the neurographics, man, if I could show you some of the other ones, it when I'm drawing them for other people, I go by some of the rules a little bit less in a way, but they still have to fit the neurographics form. But I was having trouble. I had made a rainbow, but I didn't have enough in it. And it's like, oh man, the neurographics time is over. What am I going to do? And I thought, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and alter it anyway, because I need this to make sense for me. So you see all that training going on inside. As you're doing this, you're coming up with the solutions. It's desperation, the mother of invention, right? You know what I mean? And so it's all coming through.
Desperation,
so it's
inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Teresa, are you doing neurographic readings for people as well? Now, is that one of the things you're going to be offering
not yet
your clients?
I get a supply of these things, because first of all, when it comes to pencils, which, like I said, take 3 months, some of my pencils are this big now because I used
to do many ones. You need to do many neurographic readings.
See, that's what it is. Need to
many ones.
But what about the angel readings though? But she is doing angel readings.
Yeah, you're doing angel readings.
I want to hear about that.
Can you pull us a card, because we really want that. That's good in remembering. Thank you, Nancy. You just have to butt in and say, Teresa, you were going to pull us an angel card. Can you?
I
Pull it?
know. We were waiting for the card for the collective too.
Yeah.
Give us a little tease.
Before I do it, it's each one of you, Rhonda, Nancy, and Brittany, and also we'd have to add Jessica, who gave me that push to do this whole class anyway. So I want to thank all of you right now too before I do that.
That's sweet. I'm glad you're doing it.
The card I pulled is Charity,
Oh,
Archangel Charity.
Oh.
Yeah. So look what she has in her hands there. Charity, Charity. And what she's bringing out is, so this is like the card of the week. You know, where did I put those glasses? Well, we're going to have to just guess. This is the card of the week. And for everything that we've been going through and going on, it's time to be open-hearted and generous with our time, generous with our skills or whatever we have. It is time to push that out right now. And that's what she's telling us. Give with an open heart and be generous. And so here she is to inspire us all to our utmost generosity for this next week until the next card comes.
She feels very much a part of what's going on here.
she looks like she's got a big
Already.
basket of art supplies there too.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I just say
Everything.
her wings look a little neurographic, and
Don't
her,
they? I was reading that one of the quotes from the guy that invented it was like, really, you think about it, neurographic lines are natural. They're in the crack in a sidewalk, the way it goes. They're in the contour.
It's kind of like sacred geometry where you see it everywhere now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It is like that. So it is a very natural thing to use. I'm doing my angel card blessing readings right now. You get 4 angels that come through, and each angel comes through with 2 more cards to help. It's like a team. I call them an angel triad, and it's a team that comes through and gives you what you need to know. And what this reading is for is to show you who's supporting you. Either like it's a great time for at a birthday time. Who's supporting you for the next year? And then you find out your 4 angels in the other cards, and then you get their messages. Or let's say you want, like, man, I've got this big project I got to do. Well, who's supporting you? So these are like all the different kinds of things. Let's say you're going through something like, I'm moving, and who's supporting me while I move, or I'm building a new career or looking for a new job, whatever kind of thing. And you want to know who's supporting you through this and what your support is suggesting for you so that you can take your next action steps toward your goals. That's what this reading is good for. And it was channeled. I channeled that. So with each card, like I said, 4 angels come through within the triads. I am going to channel that angel message for you and then give you all that as well, besides the cards and the card meanings. And then this year's special, because each year I change this a little bit. This year's special, I'm going to try on recording a really short visualization so that you can go with the activation, so you can integrate it better. So,
and how much are you charging for this reading? Because that sounds super amazing.
Yeah, it
they're
does.
$44.
Only $44.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's a lot of time you give up. I know
Yes,
you
it
don't
is.
do them live. You email it. So in one way, it's better because people get to read it over and over again and ingest it that way.
They
You put
do.
a lot of time.
I've
I know
had
you're a typer.
message me 5 years later after getting one of these readings, and they're like, oh my God, that still applies. I keep this, I printed it out and I keep it by my bed. Other people tell me it's on their altars. These readings are like long
It keeps
lasting.
going. It just keeps giving.
Yeah.
And like a little bit of time goes by, and then you pull it up again, and then you remember. And now having the bonus listening too, I've been waiting for Teresa to do something like that for a long time. So this is like, yay! And I've done at least 2 of the angel readings, and they're beyond. They're just
I'm so
full.
spoiled. She gifts me.
They're so full.
I
I know.
And they make good gifts for others too.
They do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of
Yeah, and especially if you're coming up to Thanksgiving, And I know, like, I like to give gifts at Thanksgiving. Well, when I should say American Thanksgiving rather than at Christmas, because everybody's overwhelmed. But families are together at Thanksgiving. So sometimes just to get a reading when all that stress is going on is so good.
Yeah.
It's so practical.
Yeah. To know who's supporting you when you come into that family situation.
So I'm going to put your your email address is in the video, the information attached to the video.
Yeah.
And that's where people can contact you for the readings. And how else? You like them through Facebook Messenger or better through your email?
It's better through Facebook, really. But I just give the email because, you know, a lot of my clients actually don't have Facebook. They have other things and I don't. So at least the Gmail is at least common.
All around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have to say that I'm also so proud of you, Teresa. I haven't known you as much as these two ladies here, but just the growth and the transformation that I've seen within you in the last, you know, since I've known you is really inspiring, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. About Brittany here, besides being an inspirational artist herself, and you guys should take her class first.
Yes.
But Brittany, Nancy, and Jessica and me, we are transforming our bodies every morning as well. And we've been doing this for 13 weeks now or something? I mean, maybe Monday it'll make 13 tomorrow.
Monday, I think, is 14.
14.
14 weeks.
See how long we've been doing this? So, like, we're making big positive changes here.
And it's amazing the Breakthrough Show Network has such a wonderful world that you're all invited to join. Just go and like join in. Most of the things are free. There's all sorts of things that go on in this world, this community that they're building. It's a world-rolling community of like-minded individuals. So that's the Breakthrough Show Network is awesome.
And everybody can pick the direction they want to take and the level they want to do. And it helps too, because, you know, you want to, you know, sometimes we hang out and chat a little bit and, you know, it's all good. It's all healthy for mind, body, and spirit, which is important.
Isn't that at a gym? Don't people stand around and talk sometimes?
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, so it helps you wind down after the workout, right?
Hanging out.
No juice bar though.
Right.
I'm already at work, so I miss it every time. But I'm with you there in spirit. So.
She's going to add more. There's going to be more.
Yes.
Yeah. So more.
Not everybody can meet at the 7 a.m. Eastern.
And I'm busy at my desk by that time. Yeah.
But you know what else we have here is 3 questions that we like to ask our special guests on Spirit Sessions. And the first one being, so you're getting ready to go on stage and you're getting all pumped up behind the scenes and you hear the bass bumping, boom, boom, boom. Okay. And she's getting ready to go on. And what is that song playing to lead in Teresa to that microphone?
This time, my normal song is High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. Okay. But right now, you should be dancing.
Oh, nice.
Oh God, now another earworm this week.
Oh man.
Oh,
that's such a great bass beat to be hearing.
Oh,
right. That's fabulous too. Yeah. Okay, I like that a lot.
Who sings that one?
Bee Gees.
I thought it was a Bee Gees song. I was gonna say, you're right into the Bee Gees this month. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that granddaughter helped with that too, bringing the Bee Gees more in the house.
We've been teaching my granddaughter Bee Gees songs.
Sweet.
Okay, now the next thing is, I know this one can be a little challenging for you, but what is your favorite crystal you're working with at this time?
Right now, when you guys reminded me of these questions, the one that was sparkling at me was my lapis lazuli.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Third eye one.
I love all of them that come.
I know.
And each new one I hold for a long time, you know, and but the color of lapis, because my favorite stones are blues and greens, right? And look at this blue. Can't you just look at it forever?
Yes.
It looks so tasty. It's like, oh, blue. Yeah. So I love this one.
And blue is so reliable, and it makes blue makes me feel good.
Yeah, me too.
It's just trusting.
Which, if we took Brittany's class, we would know.
Yes.
Brittany's experiential. She doesn't just talk about the colors. You go through and experience them. So
I can't wait to be able to do that too.
yeah,
When I actually have internet connection, which is
yeah.
also a blessing.
Yay. Back in, and shout out to all those people struggling in North Carolina right now. We have you still in our thoughts and prayers.
Yes. And I'm so grateful to have power, electric, water, and internet. I mean, you when that signal went down and we couldn't interact with each other, it was, you really become quite dependent on it. And even in a rescue situation, especially.
Immediately, we knew the situation and we were sending you big time love.
Yeah, I so appreciate that. And so this whole area appreciate that. And our other question for you too is, have you had any new recent visitations?
UFOs.
Want to share?
Yeah.
I don't. I've only seen the UFO the once, and that was a long time ago. And that was when we were talking to one of our guests, and it was behind them in the sky. I watched this, and I thought it was just an airplane, and I wasn't thinking, I was listening. And then there it was going across, and then it stops, and then it moves right back the other way. And
who was that?
I
can't remember.
I can't think of her name right now. It was probably in our first year, and
Okay.
it was way cool. But what happened recently was, I was working on staying in the theta mind after I wake up. So, because that's good for healing. And when I send out my Reiki to everybody. And so I was doing that. And then I went outside and, like all you guys, man, I just want to see the lights that you guys all see. And I'm looking up there and I'm seeing all my favorite stars. And it was a really dark night that night. And I could see the light coming through the trees toward me, and that was all fine. A car went by and I could see how its lights were. But then there was this other light. And yes, it was bluish, but it didn't come across it. I was just like, oh my God, what's that? And where is it coming from? It's not coming from the light because it's moving. It's not coming from cars behind me, or, and plus it's like 2:30 in the morning or whatever. And I was watching this light and I noticed, oh my God, that thing is taking steps. It's actually walking. And then instantly inside my head, it kept saying, you are an Octurian priestess. You are an Octurian priestess. It kept telling me that and telling me that. And I sat there and thought, oh my God, it's an entity. And I was ready to book it and run in the house. Because as brave as we are, as many angels and ascended masters as we talk to, I'm like, whoa. And then I'm holding my cat outside and like, he's not reacting to it. But if he did, it's like, I'm out of here. To go. But I sat there and I thought, okay, here's my biggest thing. I think why I don't see them more than I do is because I have the fear of the jump scares. And so I go, well, there it is. It's not jump scaring me. It's walking and taking steps nice and slow and talking in my head. Am I really scared? No, I guess I'm not. And as long as the kitty's fine, I'm going to be fine too. So her name is Sulemu, and we began talking to each other. And she helps me with healing, and she works with the mantis people a lot. And she is me at an 8th density, because we all have soul fractals in each of the different densities. She is at the 8th density, not being able to move until the 9th until she finishes helping me get to that point. When I get to that point there, then she gets to go on to the 9th where you're without body anymore. So like the 8th density, like we're moving into 5D now, but by the time we get to the 8th, that's our last one where we have physical bodies. And then now we're total spirit in the 9th density and beyond. Yeah. So she's helping.
Cool.
That's cool.
Very
Has
nice.
she been helping? That was before you started Neurographics. So I wondered what the connection is there.
Was it before?
Yeah, just before.
Yeah. Well, like I said, around the same time I got my light language activation.
Yeah. All this stuff together. There are no coincidences. So
boom, it comes out of you one way or another, don't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, I you said light language, and the first thing that at the end of the day, light color is light, right? It's just broken down in different wavelengths, and energy and all of that stuff. So it's just, I do wonder if it has that connection, if it's just a different form of light language for you.
It is so far. Every now and then in a reading, I'm called on to do a little bit of the verbal light language, but for me, I think it does come through the art. There's more art coming. I have to get to that level. So yeah, I got to challenge myself again, you guys.
Oh, that's
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. And I hope you guys who are listening or listening on the podcast or listening later on YouTube, sign up for Teresa's class. If you can't make it for live, there will be a replay for every class after a little bit that day or later on that day. So you can, and then you can visit it for a little bit as well. So
yeah, but you want to go through that initial sign up.
Yeah, you have to get the initial sign up. So it's only $33 US.
Yeah, geez, come on.
So
we're gonna have a blast. I can't wait.
We really are. It's gonna be a good.
What time is it on Tuesday? Give us the ShamWow wind up here.
9:30, and I think for all you guys, it's
10:30.
10:30.
10:30 Eastern.
But you know what? I wanted my granddaughter to take it, so I'm trying to have her sign up, but she's at school, so she'll get it after school. But since she's the one who said, "Oh, look, Grandma, there's something like this. I don't know how it goes," and here I've done it. It feels good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
So exciting. I can't wait.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Brittany Floyd and Nancy Louise, our wonderful guest hosts today. Join us next week when we're back to spooky season.
Yes.
We're back to spooky season, and we are going to have June Lundgren, and she's also known as the Demon Slayer, and she has an alter ego, an alter form, I guess you would say, as Ariel. Is that, I believe? And she's written some books, and she's coming back on. She was in before, and she's a wonderful lady who gets rid of demons in the world, and she'll talk all about that and her calling.
Isn't that wonderful?
The angels. Yeah, it's a
sacred
work.
So, right, for the links for your angel readings and the class are going to be in your paragraph.
The link for my angel read. If people want the angel readings, they can go to my email or to my Facebook.
Yeah.
And Rhonda's going to put the email in there and stuff.
Yeah, they're all attached to the video information and to the podcast information.
Okay.
The little information, bro, as well as all our hosts' information. I don't think I have yours up there, Brittany. I'm sorry. I'll have to get yours back in. So I'll get you to pop me a message with all your information again, so I can add you to the big long paragraph. Check us out on TikTok. We always have little excerpts from the show. The teasers are for the week's show, so we have June next week, and for spooky season we have returning, just an advance warning to you all, Jim Harold, our OG, so our original paranormal podcast guy.
Yes.
So, that's amazing every time.
Yeah, and watch his show on the 26th of October. He has a live show going on his YouTube with lots of prizes and fun. Anyways, I'm going to say goodbye, guys, and thank you. And you guys stick with me till the end, and I'll see you later. Bye, Teresa. Thank you.
Bye.